My name is Isabelle Icor. I'm the project portfolio coordinator manager in E2V, my company, and I'm very happy to present the result of the CCPM implementation inside the company. Okay, so mainly we are in UK. All the facilities are implanted in UK, especially in Chelmsford, which is near London. And the other principal facilities is in France, so in Grenoble. So focused on the Grenoble division, which is Advanced Imaging Semiconductor division, so part of the E2V technology. In that division, we designs and manufactures semiconductors device, so very small dies, and also electronic systems. Turnover is around $200 million, and we are in Grenoble 500 people, 200 in UK, in Chelmsford, and the number of engineers, high-skilled engineers, are around 350, so it's a large number of engineers and a complex organization. An idea of the different projects that we developed. So we have actually 4 different business units. One focus on medical, industrial, and emerging imaging. In that business unit, we developed sensors based on CCD or CMOS technologies, and we also use that sensors to develop camera system, more complex system, or system in medical application. So this is the first business unit. A second one is dedicated to space and scientific imaging with some same sort of CCD sensor or CMOS sensor. We are building some system for space application, satellites, and etc. There's another business unit which name is Mixed Signal ASICs. So ASICs means application specified integrated circuit. So that means that we develop a very dedicated semiconductor sensor for a customer, and we focus on the sensor that interface between a die that interface between the sensor and a microprocessor, for example. And the last business unit developed broadband data converters, and also do upstreaming of microprocessors, so in order to provide high reliability IPs, and also provide some assembly and test services. Okay, so in 2 years ago, we have a very bad picture on the way we manage the project, and I was project manager, and I was working with, I built a community of practice inside the company with the different project manager, and we realized that our performance was not very nice. And that if you want to change things, it's not only change the way we manage. I mean, we can, of course, improve the way we manage the project, but we will need help that is not only because of project manager, but we need top management, we need some other decision. And especially we identified that it was very difficult to allocate shared resource. We have nothing to do that. We always fighting to get the resource inside some team, so it was a nightmare to manage project. And So the result was that the on-time delivery was 25%, so one project over 4 was on time, and the average lateness of the project was 55%. So every time we want to spend 100 days on the project, at the end we spend 155 days. And so, of course, the project cycle time was too long, and if I did the exercise to convert that delays into money, and this was a very nice exercise, especially to convince the top management. And okay, so we lost a lot of millions of dollars just because we were late. Another thing that I need to mention is that we have high-skilled engineers inside the company, and so they are very specialized engineering team, and it is not easy to find that kind of skill outside or to outsourcing. So flexibility in capacity is not easy, and that's why it's all the most important to shorten the project development, to be able to do more. So based on that status, we thinking of changing something, and CCPM was selected as a method, and also Concerto as a tool to implement that big change. And so we starting working with realization in February last year, and we started the new execution, so go live in May last year. So I try to summarize the result we had before, and we are now, after 1 year, using CCPM. So first line, it's before CCPM we used to plan. So it's always average data, because projects are very different, cycle time are very different, depending if it's in one business unit or another. But in average, at the beginning, before CCPM, we plan a project with 27 months effort, okay? And as I said before, we were late. Only 25% on-time delivery, and the average lateness was 55%. Okay, so that means at the end, the average duration is not 27, but 38. So today, with CCPM, thanks to CCPM, first of all, we plan very more aggressive schedule at the beginning. And we have an average 30%, 28% improvement on the first schedule we plan. And we are less late than before, even if we are not always on time. So today we are 55 on-time delivery, 55%. And the average lateness is 35%. So I just need to add, because I see a very nice result in the other presentation on-time delivery, that I think that in a semiconductor company, the performance is often like that. I mean, it's more 20-50% on time than 85% or something I read in the other presentation. Okay, so of course we need to do better, because our target is to be to have 75% on time delivery, and to have less than 25% average lateness. But when you realize the improvement that we did compared to before CCPM and after, at the final duration, we have a 40% improvement, which is not so bad. I have a quick idea of how important is a project inside the company. It means what are the revenue of the project, what are the costs of the project, what are the risks, why is this project strategic, is it a short, medium or long-term project, is it a R&D project or a customer project, etc. So we build that indicators. Just because at the end, when the projects are inside the Concerto database, they are all equal. They are not more important project than the other. They have all the same importance. But that indicators is interesting to have, especially when you pipeline the project, because you need to know where there's a shortage in resource, what you need to prioritize. For the release process, at every steering company meetings, we list the projects that are to be replanned. We list the projects that are near completion, so people have to focus on them to complete the project. But we also need to new project that are supposed to be released soon, and we check that the full kit is ready. So we develop a dedicated document for the full kit, in which we list all the it's a kind of checklist. Do you have a risk analysis? Do you have a team? Do you have a budget? Do you have a cost estimation? Do you have due date? Do you have start date? Do you have a schedule, etc.? So we present all that project candidate to the steering committee. We need to identify if there is any resource constraints in the schedule. And so the steering committee first answer, okay, this is a good project. Maybe we need to work more on the pipelining exercise. We need to add another input just to better prepare the project. And we present that result to the next steering committee next week. And after we have the sign-off of the steering committee, okay to release the project, or okay to not to start the project, or sorry, but you need to add something else because it's not well prepared. So go back and next steering committee if you want to start the project. Whoa. So there are some key challenges. Of course, so we are doing that implementation since 1 year, and we have a lot of improvement to do tomorrow. Especially, I list of some of the principal one. The way we identify the bottlenecks and the way we try to solve that kind of critical resource is a challenge. I noticed that in theory, the CCPM principles are well understood. All people do agree, but when it's time to implement in the real life those principles, it's not the same game, and they forget all what are the principles and back to what they used to do before. So that's why you need to keep pressure on, just to be sure that they don't go back to the bad habits. Of course, you notice that we are not at the target we want for the indicators, the on-time indicators and the average lateness. So we need to improve that that results. And we also, I think it's very difficult to manage a portfolio and to balance well the short-term project, the medium project, or the long-term one. Also to have a very well-balanced portfolio. It's not easy because there's always money behind, and sometimes you want to make very quickly results, and it's not good for long-term development. So it's also a challenge to balance the portfolio. And with the high-skill engineer that we have, it's also a very big challenge to increase the flexibility inside all the resource we have, especially in the shared groups when there are critical resources. To conclude, I would say that yeah, we do some good results. We have some other challenge to address, and even if in CCPM we always speak about a due date, end date, I think in the real life there's no due date and no end date for continuous improvement. It's always ongoing.